Yeah, and you know what really puzzled us is that there is that about, if not that, around 34 million budget for payment of casual workers. And this is money that has been put on the budget so that they can be paid, and they're not being paid because of the tug of war between the two bodies. The public service board is saying that we don't have the names, and we were asking them, and that's why we were asking them to provide the list so that we can see and verify. Also us, we need to verify and offer oversight to ensure that these casual workers exist and they must be paid. People cannot be offering human resource and they're not being paid. It's quite strong. And we were being told that they're being paid through Impress, and that is where the problem is. I think that is a challenge, and I don't want to speculate, but during this ad hoc committee, we are going to establish why that was happening and to see if there is something that went wrong and give our proper recommendation.
You see, it's self-executing.
No, it's okay.
Yes.
If it is
let us verify.
If it is self-executing,
yes,
it would have meant that they would have gotten the letters 8 months ago.
Yes.
But now you are confirming that they got the letters yesterday.
Yes.
But you are also confirming that there are still consultations.
Yes.
So what is the legal position?
The legal position is that we need to pay for the days they have worked. And I've asked the department.
The days that they have worked
is
from 8 months ago.
8 months ago.
But they didn't have a contract.
They did have a contract, but the department never released them when the contract.
Now the letter they received yesterday is dated when?
Yesterday.
It's dated yesterday.
Yes.
So we have 8 months that is a lacuna.
No, they were at work.
That they were at work.
Yes.
Okay, further.
For the last 3 years, since March 2021, we have been asking for the information that is necessary for the board to make an informed decision while regulating the employment of casuals among other staffs in Baringo County Public Service. But this information has not been forthcoming. For reasons that cannot be explained right here, perhaps it's another conversation. But long and short, it was only on 11th of March 2025 that a list of 243 casuals or people were given to the board, and this is the list I'm holding here. You can see this letter is dated 11th March 2025, addressed to the board, to the secretary and CEO of the board. Of course, it's how the agenda of the board comes, and it has listed and categorized them according to the people by department, amounting to 243 people, and the list is given in a simple table with the name, position, ID number, and station. However, this information, when we discussed as a board, was found to be insufficient for us to make a decision. Why? Because this information does not specify for us when were these employees or casuals employed in Baringo County and on what authority they were employed, because we have not found a record in the board that it was approved by the board. So, long and short, the board has never approved the employment of casuals in Baringo County Public Service. And we need a confirmation by the presentation of a master roll to show that that person has actually been working consistently and can be verified by the controlling officers of those casual workers, so that we can be in a position to make an informed decision that the money paid or approved for payment shall be value for money for Baringo County. Very importantly, which has not been disclosed so far, when was the date each of these people were employed or onboarded into the payroll of the county. So if we go forward to other fields, we are looking for information including the mode of identification of these casual workers. Were they identified competitively through an advert? If so, we are requesting for an advert, a copy of the advert. If it was by public participation, maybe some minutes or something like that. And in terms of the board's authority at that time, if available, the number of years that person has worked, and also very importantly, that has not been disclosed so far, the qualifications of such a casual, so that we can know whether they are fit for the job they are doing or they should be reassigned. And of course, another very important pertinent question that is yet to be answered is the rate of wages per day, so that we can calculate and verify that the 34,951,500 is adequate to cover all the 243 and any other that may be there. And of course, any accrued wage, any wages that have been paid to date before the wages were stopped, and possibly why they were stopped. But right now, we are also interested in what the Assembly is interested in, to know how much is the accrued wages that have not been paid to date when they have been working. And we need a confirmation by the presentation of a master roll to show that that person has actually been working consistently and can be verified by the controlling officers of those casual workers, so that we can be in a position to make an informed decision that the money paid or approved for payment shall be value for money for Baringo County. I think we will stick with the law. We will inform any person who wants us to ratify without adequate information that we cannot make a decision without adequate information. Thank you.
There has been some contention of some 243 casuals in which the County Assembly wants the board to pay. But the list we received has deficiencies. The deficiencies is that the board needs to know how these people were onboarded. The board needs to know whether there was an advertisement. The board needs to know whether recruitment procedures were followed. Secondly, the list received was accompanied by an amount of 34,951,500 shillings, which when we look at it, it is difficult to establish whether the amount is adequate to cover the wages and the duration of engagement of this staff as per the list. So we have written back to the CS to give us this information to enable us to make an informed decision on these casuals. There are a number of missing links in this list, like the names, the gender, whether minorities were involved, whether the marginalized were included.
Sawa. Wako ndani. Fanya hivyo ndo pia mimi ni hata
second time for us to work on this, but once we can come together and have all these documents
and you see the chief of staff letter supersede.
According to this, the executive still is a branch led by the governor, and I think that was an office referred to, not as. Since that is the position, I know we'll have our session, our in-house session, and we'll find a way of handling that. So let's not, allegation has been mentioned in this house. Chairman?
sometimes you're promised by the executive support, actually the government. Because I
more comprehensive engagement. I want to thank the members of the County Assembly for your patience. Thank the mover of the motion, Honorable Sharon, less than 5 minutes. But thank you, everybody. We will remain behind for the longest hours. At one point, I was contemplating adjourning the committee for a short time, just to allow you to stretch yourselves. It is actually chaired by a chairman, and that was the right way to address. But since it's happening in the assembly, we had this I want to plead with the CS and the office of the Honorable Majority. So I am giving you, the three of you, until the afternoon session to table that letter and to table the details. So you have an hour or two to work on those letters. To this house now. Very well. I want to go back. Service board.
Because, Mr. Speaker, the said staff was 7, and they decided to
the budgets to engage them during the current period of engagement, and the executive order from His Excellency the Governor on immediate replacement of
that go to KTC for long listing and short listing will be given 250,000. Our chief officer, whom I accompanied.
So 4 were renewed.
Yeah, no, 3.
3 were renewed.
Yes.
And 4 were not renewed.
Yes, and
okay,
that is why they were the devolution department, plus even the HR, were renewed the contract, and they were of the same lot.
We have heard, and the people of Baringo have witnessed. But as you can all see,